Have you ever felt that something is missing from our history books? That the story we've been told about our origins isn't the whole story? Before kings carved victories into stone, before scholars decided where civilization truly began, there was a people whose existence now lingers only as a shadow, a civilization erased so thoroughly that its absence feels intentional. As we look across deserts, jungles, and drowned coastlines, the silence becomes heavy. It suggests not just ignorance, but a deliberate removal, as if something vast and unsettling once stood here and was carefully stripped away, leaving behind a world that forgot it had ever known more. What if this fragile present we call the beginning of everything is really just the aftermath? Ancient legends from distant cultures whisper the same forbidden memory. Tales of a golden age ruled by wise builders who understood the heavens and the earth as one, from flood narratives to lost continents swallowed by the sea. These accounts insist that humanity did not stumble upward blindly but fell downward from a forgotten height. Survivors carried fragments of knowledge into a harsher world, where remembering too much became dangerous, and forgetting became necessary for survival. Scattered maps drawn long before modern exploration reveal coastlines where no ships should have sailed and lands now buried beneath ice or ocean. Their accuracy is unsettling, their origins unexplained. They suggest knowledge inherited from a source older than recorded history. When paired with texts locked away or dismissed as allegory, a picture begins to form of a civilization capable of global measurement, whose understanding of geography was erased not by time alone, but by deliberate choices. Archaeological discoveries complicate the official story even more. Ruins built with impossible precision, cities aligned to celestial cycles, and artifacts dated far beyond sanctioned timelines. Yet these findings often vanish into storage or academic dispute. Why? Because they threaten our comfortable narrative of progress. They force us to confront the possibility that modern civilization is not the first peak of human achievement. Now, as satellites peer beneath forests and oceans, revealing hidden grids and submerged ruins, this erased civilization begins to reappear. It raises a final, uncomfortable question. Was history lost by accident, or rewritten on purpose? If humanity once erased its own past to survive, what might we be erasing today? And will future generations look back at our silence and wonder not what we knew, but why we chose to forget? What if a lost civilization didn't just vanish but was deliberately erased from history? The evidence of their fall isn't just missing. It's written into the earth itself. Imagine coastlines suddenly broken, sediment layers showing catastrophic climate shifts, and ocean levels surging to swallow entire cities. This isn't a slow decline. It's a terrifyingly fast collapse. As temperatures spiked and ice sheets melted, survivors were forced to flee, their world destabilizing around them. In Such Chow's, knowledge becomes a fragile burden. Advanced systems of learning and record-keeping fell apart, fracturing science into myth, instruction into legend, and history into fragmented stories. In the aftermath, scattered groups rebuilt among ruins they couldn't comprehend. They inherited colossal stone structures and precise astronomical alignments, but the knowledge to create them was gone. So, technology became mythology, and instructions for survival transformed into rituals. Oral traditions spoke of teachers who came from the sea or sky after a great destruction, preserving fragments of advanced science and ethics disguised as narrative. To speak plainly of the old world might have invited fear or violence in new societies struggling to forge their own identity. When writing returned, it wasn't neutral. Those who controlled literacy controlled memory. New rulers favored chronicles of divine lineage and conquest, positioning themselves as chosen founders, not mere inheritors. Acknowledging a prior, more advanced civilization would undermine their claim to supremacy, and so older accounts were rewritten, absorbed, or intentionally destroyed. The burning of libraries wasn't always an act of ignorance. It was often an act of intention, a strategic erasure of the past to control the present. Today, modern archaeology, with its satellite imagery and advanced dating techniques, is colliding with these curated histories. We're uncovering settlements far older and more complex than mainstream narratives allow. Roads beneath jungles, ports beneath waves, and synchronized architectural styles across continents. These discoveries suggest a level of global coordination far beyond what we thought possible for ancient peoples. Yet, interpretation remains cautious. The implications of these findings are often softened, ensuring the erased civilization remains a fringe theory rather than a historical foundation. But with each new layer we uncover, the silence feels less like an absence and more like a deliberate pressure. History itself seems to resist being reopened. As technology accelerates discovery, this lost world is pressing closer to recognition, forcing us to ask a difficult question. Does truth matter more than the comfort of our established stories? Reclaiming this past isn't just about adding a new chapter. It's a reckoning with our own fragility. It reminds us that even the greatest civilizations can fall completely and be forgotten by design, leaving only questions that refuse to stay buried. Hey everyone! What if our history books are missing a chapter? Not just a small detail, but an entire global civilization. For decades, this idea was pure speculation. But now, the evidence is becoming too big to ignore. From the deepest ocean floors to the driest deserts, and even hidden away in dusty archives, a lost story is surfacing. It feels like this erased civilization is pushing against the fabric of our modern world, demanding to be seen. The more researchers dig, the clearer it becomes that this wasn't just an ancient cover-up. It's an ongoing one. Think about it. Our own institutions, the ones that shape our understanding of the world, might be afraid of what this discovery means. They prefer a predictable past, even if it's incomplete, over a disruptive truth that could shake everything up. So, they frame discoveries carefully, making sure the past stays broken into a million little pieces, safely distant from us. But take a look at this. Ancient maps, once laughed at, now line up perfectly with satellite data. Forbidden texts, once dismissed as fantasy, now echo modern scientific findings. And climate models, they confirm that massive, catastrophic shifts could have wiped entire civilizations off the map in a blink of an eye. So why isn't this front-page news? Because our educational systems are slow to change, and powerful interests prefer the story of steady, unbroken progress. You can't just add a lost civilization back into the history books without rewriting everything we thought we knew about ourselves. This is where it gets really interesting. Modern technology is blowing this whole thing wide open. LiDAR is finding lost cities under dense jungle canopies. Sonar is mapping structures beneath the waves. And AI is connecting patterns across continents, making old theories of isolated, primitive cultures look more and more unlikely. Independent researchers are sharing their findings online, bypassing the traditional gatekeepers of information. The story is leaking out, piece by piece, and it's becoming impossible to bury again. But rediscovering this past comes with a chilling warning. If a civilization once achieved global reach and still collapsed, it means collapse isn't just something that happens to primitive societies. It's a risk built into complexity itself. And when you look at our world today, with climate stress, resource shortages, and political tension, you start to see eerie parallels. Maybe the story was suppressed, not just to control us, but to protect us, to maintain a fragile optimism by hiding the fact that greatness is no guarantee of survival. So we're left with this unsettling question, as we stand here, uncovering these half-revealed ruins and peering into oceans that hide cities we don't even have names for. What will we choose? Will we finally face this lost chapter of our story, or are we doomed to repeat it? History doesn't just disappear. It's actively removed or ignored. And if we keep telling ourselves that we are special, that our achievements are permanent, we might just be walking the same path into darkness, leaving a future generation to sift through our ruins and wonder why we chose silence over memory. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our past.